When I opened the warehouse door, I knew something was wrong. A strong smell came from inside. I stopped. Then I slowly walked in. The first box was full of rotten oranges. I opened another one. The apples were soft and dark. I opened a third box. More rotten fruit. I stood there in silence. I looked at the boxes around me. There were so many. And suddenly I remembered the day it all started. 3 days earlier, the warehouse looked very different. The doors were open and sunlight filled the room. Fresh oranges were stacked on one side. Apples and bananas were on the other. I had run this small fruit business for years. Most mornings were busy. I checked every box before it left the warehouse. I picked up an orange and turned it in my hand. There was a small brown spot on it. I put it aside. One bad orange can ruin a whole box, I said. My phone rang. It was a customer asking about an order. 20 boxes for the restaurant, I said, and 10 for the market. I wrote the numbers down. Then I looked at my phone again. A weather alert had just appeared. A powerful cold wave was coming. I opened the news. Another headline caught my eye. Food prices may rise because of supply problems. I looked at the fruit around me. Then I opened my calculator. If I sold everything that day, I would make about $300. I looked at the number for a few seconds. Then I started calculating again. What if the prices went up? What if I waited a few days? The number on my screen changed. 400. Then I tried another number. 500. Maybe even $600. I looked at the fresh fruit again. A small smile appeared on my face. This could change everything. The next morning, an old customer came to the warehouse. He owned a small restaurant and had been buying fruit from me for years. "Morning," he said. "Morning, what do you need?" "I need a lot this week." He looked around the warehouse. "I need everything you can give me. Apples, oranges, bananas. My restaurant will be very busy this weekend." I picked up my calculator. We talked about the price. The whole order would give me about $300 in profit. He looked at me. "Can you have it ready this afternoon?" I looked at the fruit. Then I looked at my phone. The cold wave was still coming. "I can pay you today," he added. I knew this was a good deal. The money was certain. The customer was certain. But I was thinking about the number on my calculator from yesterday. $600. I looked at him. "I'm sorry," I said. "I can't give you that much today." He looked surprised. "Why? Did you sell it already?" "No." I paused. "I just need to keep it." He was quiet for a moment. Then he nodded. "Okay. I understand." He walked toward the door. Before he left, he turned around. "Let me know if you change your mind." I nodded. After he left, the warehouse became quiet again. I looked at all the fruit around me. Then I said softly, "I'll wait." The next morning, I went to the market. The cold wave had not arrived yet, but everyone was already talking about it. I checked the prices. One kind of fruit had gone from $2 a kilo to $2.40. I checked again. Then I checked another seller. The price was higher there too. I smiled. I had seen this before. Bad weather could change the market. I remembered a rainy week a few years earlier. I had waited then. The prices had gone up. I had made good money. So this time I felt sure. Back at the warehouse, I checked my numbers again. $300. 420. Maybe 500. Maybe even 600. My phone showed a message from another customer. "What's your price today?" I looked at the message. I did not answer. I wanted to wait. I put my phone down. Then I looked at the fruit. For a moment, everything seemed to be going exactly as I expected. I smiled. I knew it. That afternoon, another wholesaler I knew stopped by. He looked at the boxes in my warehouse. "You're still holding all this?" "For a few more days," I said, "because of the cold wave." I nodded. "The prices are going up." He looked at his phone. "Maybe." Then he looked back at me. "But prices can go the other way too." I was quiet. "You think they could fall?" I asked. "I don't know." He put his phone away. "That's the problem." I looked at the fruit. He continued. "Last winter, people stopped buying when it got really cold." "I've seen prices rise after bad weather before," I said. "I know." He nodded. "Just don't wait too long." Then he left. I stood there for a moment. Maybe he was right. Maybe he wasn't. I picked up an orange and checked it. It looked perfect. I put it back in the box. Then I went back to work. The cold wave arrived the next day. The wind was strong. The streets were quiet. People stayed inside. I went to the market and checked the prices. They had not gone up. They had barely changed. I checked again at the afternoon. Still the same. Then my phone rang. It was one of my regular customers. "Can we take half the usual amount this week?" he asked. "Why?" "It's too cold. Business is slow." I looked around the warehouse. "Okay," I said. After the call, another customer sent me a message. "Let's wait a few days." I put my phone down. The warehouse felt different now. It was much quieter. I walked over to the fruit. Most of it still looked fine. Then I picked up an orange. It was soft. I turned it around. There was a small dark spot on the bottom. I stared at it. Then I put it aside. I checked the price again. This time it had gone down. Not much, but it had gone down. I closed my phone. I looked at the boxes. Then I told myself, maybe tomorrow. The next morning I opened the same box again. More fruit had gone soft. I picked up an apple and pressed it with my finger. It was softer than yesterday. I checked the price on my phone. It had dropped again. I stared at the number for a few seconds. I knew I could still sell some of the fruit. Then a message appeared on my phone. It was from the restaurant owner. "Do you still have those oranges?" I looked at the message. I started typing. "Yes." Then I stopped. I knew I could sell 20 boxes that day, but the price was much lower than I wanted. I deleted the message. I typed again. "Sorry, I'm out of stock." Then I sent it. I put the phone down. I picked up my calculator. If I sold now, I would make very little. Maybe I would only get my money back. I looked at the number. I had already waited this long. What was all that waiting for? I remembered my friend's words. Just don't wait too long. I looked at the fruit. "I'm not waiting too long," I said quietly. But I knew that was not completely true. Another day passed, then another. Every morning I removed more bad fruit. The smell in the warehouse became stronger. The price did not recover. Still, I waited. One more day. The next morning my phone rang. It was the restaurant owner again. "Hi," he said. "Do you still have those oranges?" I looked towards the warehouse. "Yes," I said. He sounded relieved. "Great. Can I take 20 boxes tomorrow?" I paused. "Sure, I'll have them ready." After the call, I put my phone down. For a moment, I just stood there. Then I picked up my keys. I walked toward the warehouse door. My hand stopped on the handle. I already knew something was wrong. I opened the door. A strong smell came toward me. I covered my nose. "Oh no!" I walked inside. The first box was bad. The second box was worse. I opened another one, then another. I started moving faster. Box after box was filled with soft, dark fruit. Some oranges were covered with mold. Some apples had turned brown. I stopped counting. I sat down beside the boxes. I looked at the fruit I had bought so carefully. Then I remembered the restaurant owner. "I can pay you today." I remembered the $300. I remembered the $600 I thought I could make. I remembered my friend. "Just don't wait too long." I looked around the warehouse. And finally I said, "I could have sold them." I took a breath. Someone wanted them. I looked at the boxes again. I could have stopped this. I didn't lose everything that day. Some fruit was still good. I separated it from the bad fruit. I called the restaurant owner. "I'm sorry," I said. "I can't give you 20 boxes tomorrow." There was a short silence. "Some of the fruit has gone bad." After the call, I started cleaning. I kept what I could. I threw away what I couldn't save. I stopped thinking about the perfect price. I just wanted to stop the loss. A few weeks later, another cold wave appeared on the weather forecast. I was standing in my warehouse when I saw the alert. I looked at the screen. Then I looked at my fruit. For a moment, I remembered everything. The old order. The $300. The $600 I never had. The boxes that went bad. I opened my order list. This time I checked how much my customers really needed. Then I placed a smaller order. My friend happened to see me later. "Aren't you worried prices will go up?" I smiled. "Maybe." I looked at the fresh fruit in the warehouse. But I don't need the highest price. I closed my notebook. I just need to make a wise choice. That night I closed the warehouse door. Inside were fewer boxes, but they were fresh. And for the first time I understood something simple. Sometimes losing a little is how you stop losing everything.